Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days. Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days. Waiver gems and trade block plays. Win today and plan for days.
Win your league, stack that bread, or start a boom and lose instead. Sunday Surefire, let's go.
Sunday Surefire. It's your host tonight, Aaron Downtown Brown. I got the co-host with me, Ethan Weaver.
Aaron, how we doing?
We are doing, my friend. We are doing. We're on to week 8. I can't believe we're almost at the halfway point here.
I know we're pretty much over. I mean, this is a little over halfway of the regular season. That is for fantasy football. Obviously, we're talking DFS tonight, and I think I'm ready to win another $1 million. How about you, Aaron?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I am too, man. Coming off the high last week, I was pretty close. Couple matches in week 7. It's funny. I kind of feel bad for the listeners. I called out Saquon Barkley, and he was like my Achilles heel in my lineup. Scored 185 points with a great 5 points from Barkley last week.
Yeah, you wish you put JT there instead, right?
That's right. That's right. You can't fail with JT this year for sure.
I know. He's been running like a man possessed. That team looks awesome.
For sure. Yeah, very surprising. Colts.
Hey, it's not surprising. Danny Dimes. I was always a truther of Danny Dimes.
You guys were. Yeah, you and Kamish both like Danny Dimes.
He just needed a good organization here. That's
right. All right. Well, speaking of fantasy, let's move on to week 8 serviceable starters, or guys that we think, if you're looking for the waiver wire, someone that might be sitting on your bench. Of course, we got 6 teams on a bye this week, so that means it's definitely crucial time in your redraft leagues to find your sneaky plays, the guys that can be serviceable in your starting lineup this week. So Ethan, let's start with outside the top 24 in you got running back and wide receiver tonight, right? Let's go ahead and pick one.
Okay, I'll start at the wide receiver position. And this is a guy who is ranked wide receiver 39. And I actually have this stack in my DFS lineup. I know we transitioned, but get another couple DFS plays here. But Bo Nix and Marvin Mims here. And at wide receiver 39, I mean, he's been kind of a dart throw this season, but going against the easiest matchup in all of the NFL for opposing offenses against the Dallas defense, and the game, it's the highest. I think it's the highest over under of the week at 50.5 points are going to be scored. I believe the game is in Denver, and a lot of people are ranking Troy Franklin higher than Marvin Mims this week. I disagree. I know Franklin got more targets last week. He had 10 targets, but only turned that into 3 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. And the touchdown wasn't even a target. It was a tip pass that Troy Franklin happened to catch. I mean, good heads up play, but it makes Franklin's day look a lot better than it actually was, where Mims had 7 targets and turned that into 6 for 85. And like I said, I'm anticipating a shootout. I know Denver has a decent defense, but look what Jaxon Dart and the Giants did to Denver this past week. I mean, they went in there and, Jaxon Dart and the Giants put up over 30 points. So, and Dak, I don't think there's any offense playing better than Dak Prescott and the Cowboys right now. So I think they're going to put up points. It's going to force, I think, Bo Nix to drop back and throw the ball a lot. And I think Mims is going to be the benefactor. I think he's going to catch a long touchdown. He is number 13 in the NFL in terms of explosive plays of 7, and he is 7th in the league in deep targets with 11. So I think Mims is going to take a deep one to the house against a porous Dallas Cowboys defense, and I think Bo Nix is going to have to chuck the ball a lot. So I like the dart with Marvin Mims, especially with a week where we are just scratched and clawing to find anybody to put on our lineups in some places with all the injuries and the buys.
Yeah, I think you picked a good game to throw somebody into because I think that Dallas and Denver game is going to be pretty intense offensively. Should be a lot of offense in that game. I mean, Denver has surprisingly been a pretty bad secondary this year. Um, I
Yeah, surprising.
yeah, just returning the defensive MVP of the league, right? So, but I think even being so, I mean, Dallas is going to put up points. That means Denver has to too. So I like the call there. It's also very tricky because you got Lamb in that game. He's going to obviously be Lisa Chain's gonna be on, Lamb in this matchup, so, I mean, you got Pickens in there, could he come along with the deep ball? And then on Denver side too, it's almost who's gonna come out on Denver, I think you did a good, um,
I
and
just told you who. Marvin Mims,
yeah, it's
baby.
Marvin Mims. Well, I guess the reason why I'm kinda leading into this is 'cause it's interesting because I went with Troy Franklin. So
Which
my, yeah, my sneaky play is Troy Franklin, number 34. And I think you mentioned, yeah, he did tie Sutton in targets last week. But if you look for at the whole season, he's only 4 targets behind him for the year. So Bo does have a tendency to throw to Troy Franklin. I mean, they are college teammates, so that and he's deserved to rise in that depth chart as well. But I think in a game like that, I mean, there could be a world where they both, have a decent floor with a lot of pass attempts going on. I mean, I guess there's another world where Dallas is also pretty bad against stopping the run too. So hopefully it's not a Dobbins game or something like that. But yeah, I went with Franklin. For the same reasons you called out. I think it's just gonna be high scoring. It is kind of also a dart throw, even though he'd had yeah, as you said, he did have that touchdown, but it was a very lucky touchdown. I'm just kind of going with the targets, and yeah, like I said, he's only 4 targets behind Sun for the year. So I think in a game script where they're gonna be throwing a lot, that's why I went with Franklin. But I definitely see just trying to figure out which Denver piece is gonna come away with at least 1 touchdown.
Yeah, no, even though I was poo-pooing Troy Franklin a little bit, I do think you can throw either one into your flex, and I think be pretty happy with the upside that you're going to have. So, I mean, like I said, I think Bo Nix is going to have to throw the ball a lot. Franklin's going to get his targets, like you said. I mean, he's not far off of Cortland Sutton for the year, and I think all three, Sutton, Franklin, and Mims are going to have their opportunities. So we'll see. We'll see which one emerges. I mean, Sutton, I think is going to be a lock for get his, but who's it going to be to that second guy? Is it going to be Franklin? Is it going to be Mims?
Right, right. Well, yeah, that's definitely a game to watch in fantasy for sure. I think it's the highest over the week, if I remember right. I want to say it's like 49 points. So we'll definitely be watching that on Sunday. Let's go to running back. You got a running back you want to talk about outside the top 24?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to kind of piggyback again. I talked about this player in DFS, and I'm just going to kind of roll this right into your redraft fantasy leagues. I think Allgiere is a very serviceable starter for this week. He's RB 27, so he's just outside RB2 range, which tells me I think most of the community thinks that Algier is going to get a healthy workload. Like I said, I think he's going to get over 15 touches. I think he's going to fall in the end zone, and I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to run all over Miami. As I said earlier, Miami can't stop the run. When the Falcons play from ahead, Algier gets the touches. So I think not only is he a good DFS star, I think he's a guy you can put again into your flex, and I think he's gonna have a pretty safe floor.
Yeah, like I said, I like the call. I mean, yeah, he could fall into the end zone, especially, playing Miami this week. And, it's not even just falling in the end zone. I mean, sometimes they have actual formations with him and Bijan both on the
Oh
field
yeah.
at the same time too. So it's not just like a lucky roll of the dice. He gets some actual usage for sure. So yeah, I like that call, and a little bit of I guess I'll throw in a little dynasty there. We had a fun conversation on our
Oh yeah.
Discord about Allgiere. He's kind of a sneaky dynasty player too, because it's the last year of his contract. I know he's done very well for the Falcons, but maybe if you nab him up and he gets a contract somewhere else to be the starter um, next year with a new contract on a different team, might be kind of sneaky player to have as well.
Yeah, no, I think Algier is the type of player that you buy now and you could reap the rewards later. I mean, do I think he's the most dynamic running back in the league? No, but is he? I think could he be a serviceable workhorse? Yeah, I think he could. I think he could be a serviceable starter somewhere. Um, it kind of reminds me of Zach Charbonnet a little bit, right? You have that two-headed backfield with Walker and Charbonnet. Charbonnet obviously isn't on his last year of his deal, but Walker is. And I know I was actually talking to the commission about this. I was like, do you think Seattle pays Walker, or do you think they just let him walk? Charbonnet takes on the workhorse role and they draft it back. If I was the GM, that's what I would do. I'd be like, see you later, Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker is a great talent, but I think he gets injured too much. And I know all NFL teams are paying running backs these days, but I would let Walker walk. You have Charbonnet, who's very, very serviceable. Draft the guy in the NFL draft and keep it rolling.
Yeah, no, I agree. Another guy that burned me last week where I had Walker, and I probably won't make that decision twice here.
Come on, you didn't pour yourself a nice cold glass of Charbonnet last week? Come on.
I should have. I'd be rolling into some more money, I think.
More money. But hey, whoa, you haven't won enough, Aaron. Come on, save some for the rest of us.
There's always more. It's for the pod.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I'll move on here. Outside the top 12 at the quarterback position, if you got to stream a quarterback, I'm also going to do the same. I'm going to talk about my DFS strategy. I think Joe Flacco is an easy choice to grab off waivers, or if he's still sitting there. I just think he's a great streaming option. We kind of touched on it. He already shows great chemistry with Chase. Somehow they're both like, I don't know how we have that much chemistry, but they're already on the same page. And I think it just comes down to, he's got the best weapons in the league. He's been in the league for forever too. So he kind of understands how to get the ball to those guys. Where it seems like a lot of young quarterbacks struggle. It's like you got a dynamic wide receiver. Why don't you just throw him the ball, right? But Flacco kind of understands how to get that, get the ball thrown around. So, I mean, Flacco is my streaming option this week. He's quarterback 14 on Fantasy Pros half point PPR.
Yeah, I don't understand. I like that call as we discussed earlier, but I don't understand like a guy like Jake Browning, who is the starting quarterback for the Bengals once Burrow went down. Like, what was he thinking? Like, why not just throw the ball to Chase like 50% of the time? Like, what? I don't understand why he made it so difficult. You have guys like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and you're just refusing to get the ball to them. I mean, it's just insane how you remove Jake Browning, insert Joe Flacco, and it's like fantasy heaven now for the Bengals for the Bengals offense. So the quarterback that I am looking to, I mean, I wouldn't even say he's really even a streamer anymore for some cases, but he is ranked outside the top 12. He's QB 13. That's Jaxon Dart going against the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, he's had over 17 points in every single game he started this year. He put up nearly 30 points against the Denver Broncos last week. He has 3 rushing touchdowns on the year, 3 top 12 finishes, and hasn't finished outside the top 16 this year. He scored nearly 24 points against Philly a couple weeks ago. Jaxon Dart with the limited weapons, he's just getting it done. I mean, he's kind of he ad-libs plays, he runs around, he makes things happen. He can just do it with his legs and his arm. He's been a very, very, very serviceable quarterback so far this season. And at this point, I think he's probably an every week starter. I mean, he's had back-to-back top 5 finishes the last 2 weeks. And I think he can continue that trend maybe not so top 5, but another top 12, top 10 performance for Jaxon Dart. So if you need to stream, if Jaxon Dart's still available on your waiver wire, I think you should get him on your squad.
All right, are you ready? I'm going to try this out. I had to try it. No, I think this might be the fun. We've had a lot of on the show tonight, but I am a Dart fan. I have loved the hype he's getting. The one thing I will say about this week is it's pretty tough to go into Philadelphia now, where you beat them in the first matchup, and now they got to go to Philly, a pretty angry Philly team, right? Who's starting to get their groove back. I mean that Philly crowd is different, right? So
It
I
won't
think
affect Dart, baby. Come on.
hey, thank you. All right. I mean, you know what? If he shows up in Philly, I'll be the first one to say I was wrong. But I mean, I think
Hey,
this is a big Philly game. They gotta, and it's Saquon revenge game again. So I don't know, man. But I do love Dart. I do love him in fantasy and dynasty, all that. I'm just wondering about this week. I think Philly is starting to come back alive. This is midseason. This is like where the Chiefs, Eagles, some of those teams start getting to, they got some of those losses out the way. I'm worried for some teams playing against the Eagles now.
no, and I understand that, which is why he's ranked outside the top 12. But I don't like in this episode and what we're talking about. If you are in a pinch and you need to start somebody,
Yeah.
I don't think Dart is a bad option with all these teams on bye. But speaking of your Kansas City Chiefs, Rashee Rice is back,
Ooh,
baby. 2
I
touchdowns.
know. Yeah.
Yes, he saved me in a couple of leagues. So welcome back, Rashee Rice.
Oh, I know. I was glad to see him back. I was actually very mad I traded him. And I'm like, what am I thinking? Why did I trade Rashee Rice
I'm
away? But
I'm so mad I don't have more shares of Rice when you get a bought low, because he was one of my
mhm.
he was one of my favorite targets to acquire, and I should have been a little harder on that wagon through the first 6 or 7 weeks, the 6 weeks of the season before he came back and dominated in week 7. But your Chiefs look like they're humming again. We'll probably see them in the AFC Championship against Drake May and my
Oh,
Patriots.
there you go. There you go. We'll do a what is it, 2017 rematch?
Same result too. Let's go.
Oh, no. All right. All right. Well, let's move on to the fun position that people like to stream as well. Let's talk tight ends outside of the top, what is it, top 12?
Top
And
12, yes.
yep, top 12. And hit me. Who you got at tight end this week?
This week, I'm just gonna go with a guy that's been pretty consistent over the last few weeks, and one of the last healthy pass catchers remaining on his team, and that's Cade Otton of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is ranked 15th, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, he is ranked 15th in half point PPR, and like I said, there's not many bodies left for Baker Mayfield to throw to. Godwin's out. Evans is out for the year. Egbuka, he came back last week. I mean, is he at full strength? I'm not sure, but Cade Otton has scored double-digit fantasy points in each of the last 3 games, and he's averaging 66 yards a game. He had a season-high 9 targets against the Lions on Monday night, and he turned that into 7 for 65. I think it's going to be more of the same again this week against the Saints. The over-under is 46.5, so they are projecting some points. If the Saints can kind of keep up and put points on the scoreboard and force Baker to throw, I think Cade Otton is going to be the benefactor of that. I think he's going to get another 8+ target game, and a guy that's ranked tight end 15, with all the injuries, with all the buys. I mean, I think Cade Otton's actually a pretty safe tight end. He might not have this massive ceiling, but I think he's going to be pretty safe and have a pretty high floor this week.
Oh yeah, I love that call for sure. So I guess I'll switch it in.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you, thank you.
There you go, there you go. I'll give you a clap this time. uh, but yeah, no, I definitely love the on call. I found myself, trying to make a couple of lineups in DFS, and I would either I'd throw some in with Otton, I'd throw some in with my other guy too. So I think this is the week to try to fit in a cheap tight end, but yeah, in fantasy, like I said, with all these buys going on, we gotta dig deep at times. But I think with the injuries the Tampa Bay has, I think that's a great call. You also saw it in the 2-minute drill. He's like one of Baker's favorite
Oh, yeah.
targets in the 2-minute drill too. So he can get you some sneaky points there. I'll talk my guy right now too at the tight end position. I'm going tight end number 16 on the list. I'm gonna actually go with the guy I've not brought up for a long time. I'm gonna go with Daulton Shultz. All right, so a guy I've kind of forgot about in a lot of aspects in the last year or two. I did mention I was high on the Niners defense, but a couple things with the Texans offense. With Nico potentially being out with the concussion, you saw it as soon as he was out. Daulton Schultz was the number one target. He caught nine catches for 98 yards against Seattle. Even though the Texans really couldn't move the ball, the only time they really could move the ball was with Daulton Schultz, right? So I kind of like that play. San Francisco's also bottom in the league defending slot wide receivers or tight ends in both yards and receptions as well. So Schultz leads the team in snaps from the slot. So I think he has a very high floor this week playing against the Niners. So I'm gonna go with Schultz as my I guess sneaky tight end play.
No, I like that call a lot. He was actually a guy I was thinking about mentioning in this episode, especially if Nico's out. CD Stroud's gonna have to throw to somebody, and it's gonna be Daulton Schultz. So again, at tight end 16 this week, I think he has a very safe floor. Honestly, tight ends 15, 16, 17, and Schultz and Evan Ingram, I think those are all great starts this week. Evan Ingram, I think, is just a good start just because that matchup, the high over under, it's going to be a shootout. And like I said, and then with Ott and Schultz, those are just the safety valves for their quarterback at this point with all the injuries. So I think there's a lot of good streaming options this week for tight end.
Agree. And I mean, this is obviously the week that we all have to do it with, some of these buys in this hard. So, yeah, we'll definitely see. That's all we have for tonight. But hey, let's get a little bit of conversation going in this YouTube video. See if you got, what are your thoughts on some of the guys, or if you got any other questions, hit us up on all social media. But it would be fun to get a little bit of thread on the YouTube video as well. But until next time, folks, peace.